Welcome back in to another edition of TM5's Bro Therapy with Bass and the Bear. I am the Bear, Bryce Sparling. Here with me, as always, Mr. Casey Bass.
What's up, homie?
Not much, buddy. How was your vacation, man? We kind of synced up and we went on vacations back to back.
They say if you hang out enough, you do sync up. And that's what happened with me and you.
Million percent.
Speaking of, let's start before we get into vacation. Let's start with an exciting announcement that I want to see your face because I got to hear your smile when I called you and told you.
All right.
For those of you who don't know, this is not the first time that Bryce and I have ever had a show together. Last football season, about quarter way through the year?
Yeah, maybe week 3, week 4, I think we cooked it up.
We started the Saturday morning rewind.
Yes.
Which was I don't even know whose idea it was, but
I think it was yours. I think it sprung from your brain, I believe.
It happens every once in a while. And then where we would recap Friday night's games so that when you woke up on Saturday morning in 20 minutes, you could listen to a couple of highlights from each game, get a quick breakdown of the game, and know what happened, everything on Friday night. Because we realized that while a lot of you are junkies and will stay up till midnight with Hometown Sports Media until we go off the air, some of you actually have lives and you go to bed. And so we wanted to recap everything in one place. This year is going to be even more important, and we are partnering with West Georgia TV, so it will be on the pregame and the postgame. So it'll be on video. Also, the host of the pregame and the postgame on video, this may be a terrible idea, will be me.
Maybe.
I'm no longer the voice of the Braves at Heard County. That is Taylor Jones now, so they are in much better hands. But I will be climbing back into the hosting chair. It's been about 10 years since I did it, but I think I can get back on it. But this year, as of today, we have a title sponsor for the Saturday Morning Rewind. It will be the Saturday Morning Rewind presented by Blackwater Technologies. How excited is that? That's awesome.
No way, dude.
They called up wanting it.
What? Really?
Blackwater Technology will also be our first down sponsor. So every first down in the area will be brought to you by Blackwater Technology. They're all in, baby.
Dude, that is so cool, man. This is something you and I just kind of cooked up. You brought the idea, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this, man. Let's run it. This will be this." Honestly, I'll be honest with you. It was born out of a bit of selfishness because we build this on a Friday night, and we release it Saturday morning at like 6 a.m. So Saturday mornings, I'm usually driving to some sort of youth football game somewhere.
Yep.
And it's the first thing I turn on the radio is you and I talking about the games from Friday night. I listen to it. Obviously, my kids aren't up that late and listening to Hometown Sports Media until midnight. So they listen to it. They get the recap of all the games on Friday night. Dude, that's so cool that somebody listened to it and actually want to sponsor it. That's amazing, man.
He said it was the way he started every Saturday. Get up, have a cup of coffee, and listen to what happened. And then he knew going into the weekend when you're running your buddies, what happened.
Yeah.
He knew not just the scores, but he kind of knew some of the stories. Our goal was to tell kind of the story of the game.
Right.
Just to let you know, Bowden won by 4 touchdowns, but it was close until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Or Bowden won by 10 points, but they were up by 35 and it was garbage points, right? Yeah. Like just stuff like that. Jonas Walton ran for 400 yards at Central, whatever it may be, going into your weekend, what's happening. So we'll be doing that again this year. And I look forward to it. I'm excited about it. I don't know that there'll be a video element to it because I will be probably recording it from a stadium where they've turned the lights off after midnight.
So we need to get you a stadium or a lighting kit is what you're telling me.
We're working on that, because we're going to be in there at night. We're going to need lighting. We're working on a lot of things, and it's 2 weeks before the season starts. So nothing says Hometown Sports Media quite like we have 5,700 things to do before the season comes out, including finishing this app. For the third year in a row, we have revamped our app. This guy is going crazy because he's heading it up this year. I did it the first 2 years. This should be the last time we ever have to do it. The company has grown so fast that our volume has outpaced the app. And so we've had problems. We didn't expect 160,000 listeners last year. And so our app just couldn't keep up. And so now we have found another company. We're going with 7 apps, one for each school. as we're covering 7 different schools. And so, we're racing to get it done in time for game 1. And I'm feeling good about it. I think
Well,
we're going to get it done.
listen, it's working. The stream is working. We're working on the apps, but the URL and everything like that, 1,000,000% working right now. But yeah, we are working. I sent, I don't know, roughly 25, 30 emails today trying to get the all the information into the people that need the information to build our app. It's crazy to think where we were when we started this 2 years ago with just 2 channels. It was the Villa Rica Network and the Carroll County Network, and it was you and Clay, Villa Rica every single week, and it was me and Steve Lee going around to whoever we wanted to call, whoever we could call, going around. We moved to 5 last year, and then this year now with 7 radio stations, and having to go to a whole new platform to build the application because the old app couldn't withstand the bandwidth that we were pushing into it. If you think about it, folks, essentially we were trying to push too much water through too small of a water hose, and we had to go to a different app. And like, these are good problems we're having. And if we weren't growing and people didn't like our product, we wouldn't have this problem. We'd still be with the same crappy app, or say, with 2 stations or something. This is really good problems to have, especially when you're in year 2.5, 3 for us.
And listen, and I'm so excited because the quality of the product's so good that I want to make sure that people can get it whenever they want it with no problems, without having to reload the app and delete the app and reinstall the app and get lucky that it, like, just turn it on and it's working. Turn it on, it's there, and then links to the archive, and then links inside the app to other apps, and all of the things that we wanted in the first 2 years, but we couldn't get done, couldn't afford, whatever, because we were just trying to put a good product on the air. And now our team has gotten so good. I like to think that I'm a pretty good play-by-play guy. Like, I'm not bad at it, and it's my passion. But my team's gotten so good now. There's no room for me to be able to. I'm going to the studio because I got too many good dudes to do play-by-play.
Very good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, because what we always said we want to do at Hometown Sports Media was not just cover the games, but to give the kids the quality of coverage that they deserve, to make it feel like collegiate radio. That's what we want it to be Homer college radio, like the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network or the Georgia Southern Eagles Radio Network. So coverage of that specific team, with broadcasters who follow that team all year and who know the kids and who the kids know and the fans trust. And so you can, when you do that, you can be honest, right? When I'm covering Heard County for a year and I get to week 7 and they're laying an egg, I can say they're laying an egg, and the mamas don't get mad at me because they think that I'm beating up on their kids. They know I love their kids. Yeah. They've been listening to me for 6 weeks. And so they go, oh, we're laying an egg, right? Like, if Casey's saying it, then it must be true. And this is the things that and then when you say that, and then they do something good, and you say they did something good, then like, oh, yay, rah, rah. And so, it's fun. It's stressful, but it's fun to see the dream come to fruition from what just started as, basically because I got politely asked not to work at Graddick Communications.
I got fired from a job I didn't get paid for.
Yeah, that's what started the whole thing. Was you and Billy getting fired from a free job? It's like the Friday version of high school football.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I got politely asked to step to the side, and I was like, man, I just need a place to call ball. And now here we are with 7 stations. We put 100. What did we put last year? What was the number? 67,000 hours. What was the number of live high school sports?
I don't even remember. And I've watched that video at least 30 times this week because I'm sending it to all of the people that could possibly advertise with us. I'm like, just look at these analytics that we had last year. Like, it was absurd the amount of hours that we covered prep sports here in West Georgia. Like, it is
with a janky app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we had 160,000 listeners with a janky app. Imagine what's going to happen with an app that works. That's why we put the nerd in charge of it and took dummy off of it.
And one of the, I'll give you guys a sneak peek behind the app. One of the cool features that we are going to roll out when you get it is you will now get push notifications when we go live, and especially on football games when there's a score. I got to talk to Billy about that. Billy's going to be in charge of that and kind of help us with the producers and everything. But we are going to have the capabilities of having a push notification on your app that was one of the things in the old app that I hated is like when we started the game or when we started pregame or when we started postgame, like nobody, unless you were tuning in, really had any idea that anything was
Right.
starting. And now that we have capabilities to push notifications out to people's apps, they're going to know exactly when stuff starts, when scores happen, when stuff like that happens. And I believe what I'm also going to do is every single game for that specific high school is going to be uploaded into that specific app. That way, every time you log on to the Temple Tigers radio network, every time you go on there, a Temple Tigers game will be played on that app, whether it be football, basketball, softball, baseball, doesn't matter, whatever it is. Whenever you tune in, even if we're not doing a live broadcast, there will be podcasts playing of Temple Tiger games.
And we're not going to bug you with push notifications. It's just going to be,
No.
this is what's going on. And in football, not that big a deal, but we cover every sport. And you may not know that there's a Temple softball game going on, until you look down at your phone and go, oh, the girls are playing. Boom. Let me see what's going on. So I think that is important because we do so much. And most people don't have the basketball schedule memorized for Mount Zion. Like they just don't. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you get the notification, Mount Zion's basketball game just started. Oh, well, let's check it out. Or
Pop in.
Who cares? Like one or the other. It's not that big a deal. So yeah, I'm excited about that too. But long digression, back to your original question. Vacation was awesome.
Where did y'all go? What's the island you go to?
Edisto Island, South Carolina.
That's right.
And we took my girl Jay, who's been, the ride or die with my daughter since kindergarten, since they were 5 years old.
That's awesome.
And she actually she had a gimmick that I don't even know that she came up with. So here's where I'll start. Have you heard? So Jalen was like, she was like the energy behind the vacation. Like she just, for some reason, she decided that she was going to keep everybody up.
Okay.
And so not up at night, but just keep spirits
energized. Yeah.
So have you heard the Snoop Doggy Dog affirmation song?
I don't think I have.
All right, so you need to listen, all of you, everybody listening to this. You can listen to it with your 2-year-old. It is not inappropriate in the least. Snoop has an affirmation song. It's called Snoop's affirmation song.
Hold on. I got it right here for you. Got it right here for you. Let's listen to this thing.
I hope I can hear it.
This is not it. This is a stupid commercial. I hate YouTube. Here we go.
For some reason, I still can't hear your stuff.
Wow, wow, wow.
I can't hear it.
Affirmations are positive statements that help us to challenge and overcome when you're not feeling good and have negative thoughts. So repeat after me. Come on, everyone. There is no one better to be than myself.
There is no one better to be than myself.
It's going to be an amazing day.
Today's going to be an amazing day.
My feelings matter.
My feelings matter.
I get better every single day.
I get better every single day.
I choose to feel happy.
I choose to feel happy.
My family loves me so much.
My family loves me so much.
I care about others.
I care about others.
I learned from my mistakes.
I learned from my mistakes.
Now we know some new affirmations that we can choose and learn to say. So next time you need a little inspiration to help you have more of a positive day. Affirmations.
So she would come out every morning playing that song. And we would just sing it. Like the whole family would just sing it. That's how we started every day. Now, when I said they came out in the morning, they're 13. So this is like 10:45.
Okay.
11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Like, she would open the door playing the affirmation song, right?
So, this is amazing.
So then we're sitting, and I don't remember if we were playing a board game or we were eating dinner, but we were sitting at the kitchen table.
Right.
And she caused my wife to say the funniest thing I have ever heard her say. I have known my wife for 20 years, and she's funny. She said, this is one of the funniest things I've ever heard anybody say. I laugh so hard, I got a stitch. Like, I got a stitch. So we're just chilling. And then out of nowhere, I wish I could remember what it was she said, but she just blurted out this like positive motivational statement or sentence that you would see like on a poster somewhere. He blurted it out of nowhere. And my wife, without missing a beat, says, it's like you've got fortune cookie Tourette's. And I almost fell out of my chair. I laughed so stinking hard. Because fortune cookies, if you don't know anymore, folks, they don't have fortunes in them. They just have advice, right? They just have motivational sayings in it. She said, it's like you have fortune cookie Tourette's.
That might be one of the single greatest sayings I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And so that was kind of the vibe of the whole trip, man. And Jay would just out of nowhere. And so that happened early in the trip. And I guess she was like, okay, well, this is going over well. So she'd be in the back of the car and she'd have them pull up on her and she'd just start giving us, positive motivational sentences. She had a whole list of them in her phone and she would just out of nowhere, she would hit us with some kind of motivational speech. But it was hotter than all get out.
Yep.
We spent most of the time in the ocean, in the water, because it was so stinking hot. We had a great time. We played board games and hung out on the beach. So that's all we did. Like it was great.
That was us too, man. Like we went and we would wake up. We'd wake up about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And we let the kids ride their bikes for maybe an hour-ish because we were in sort of this like little compound area thing. And we let them ride their bikes up and down until maybe 10 or 11. And then we'd make lunch and we'd make 1 or 2 adult drinks and we would go down to the beach and we would stay at the beach until 6 or 7 o'clock at night when high tide came. And we spent the entire time in the ocean. The kids didn't realize how easy it was to find sand dollars at Jekyll Island. I found 4 or 5 in the first 2 minutes we were there, and they kept finding them and everything. And they got their first buzz from a fish. Every now and then, a fish would come up and bump you and buzz you and run around. Crabs would come up and pinch your toes every now and then. They got that
Atlantic Ocean experience.
Exactly. And the best thing that happened the entire time was they had that boogie board and they were boogie boarding a little bit on the small waves at Jekyll Island. And at one point he fell off the boogie board and picked up a massive horseshoe crab. I mean, this thing was probably 1.5 to 2 foot in diameter. It was huge.
Prehistoric.
Yes. A dinosaur picked up a dinosaur.
A literal dinosaur.
And it was maybe 3.5 to 4 foot away from my wife. And I'm pretty sure Emily took both Braxton and Willow and threw both of them down in front of her and ran directly up the beach and towards the stairs. I mean, she sacrificed both the oldest and the youngest to this prehistoric dinosaur that she
no weapons.
No, that's what Grace picked it up, and he was loving it until Emily started freaking out, and then he threw it down. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you hold it up? That'd have been a great picture. I was like, horseshoe crabs can't hurt you. Like they can't sting you, they can't bite you, they can't pinch you. Like they have no weapons. They're just like a tank almost with no weapons.
Just docile.
It was pretty amazing how he just picked it up, and it was great.
As we've discussed a lot, I like to hang out outside. So one of the great things about this room was it had a great back porch with a very high-powered ceiling fan.
Ooh, nice.
It wasn't very high of my head. So I had a little table there. I could sit out on the porch, had a great view of the golf course. Like I was right on a hole on the golf course. And there was a little pond between me and the golf course. And by little pond, I mean, it was like 20 yards across, 30 yards across. It wasn't big at all. Little golf course pond. I'm sitting there and I see an osprey and I love birds of prey. Big fan of birds of prey.
Like Catholic birds?
Those birds that prey.
Oh,
I'm saying birds of prey, such as a hawk or an eagle or the oft forgotten osprey, which is, you don't want to use the word seahawk. It's a seahawk. It's a hawk at the ocean. So a little bit smaller. And this dude comes in and he's just kind of flying circles around, like right in my line of sight. Like it's a golf course. There's trees and whatever.
Right.
And I'm sitting there with my ceiling fan, cold frosty beverage, or maybe coffee. No, it was the morning. It was the morning time. I had my coffee and my breakfast on vacation is vanilla yogurt with fresh blueberries and Nature's Valley protein granola, and then slivered almonds. Every morning. That's what I eat for breakfast every morning on vacation. Good. And cause our family tradition is when we go shopping on vacation, everybody gets to buy their own cereal. And the adults, me and Debbie generally get kid cereal, right? She likes the chocolate Lucky Charms. It's the only time in the year she'll eat the sugar cereal.
What's your cereal?
It used to be I would do a lot of Captain Crunch with the Crunch Berries.
Okay.
But now it's the yogurt, and I'm just addicted to the yogurt and the granola. I'm the old man. I just like it. If I eat that crap, I'm hungry in 12 minutes afterwards.
Right.
But if I have a good bowl of granola with almonds and the protein, that Nature's Valley granola with protein has got 13 grams of protein in it. Plus your granola, I'm getting 30 grams of protein.
Yeah.
I gotta have that, or I'm gonna kill somebody. So anyway, I'm having that, and I'm watching this osprey, just fly around. I'm just sitting there having my coffee. Next thing I know, dude, straight into the pond, and comes out with probably a 1.5 pound bass between his talons, kicking, and he just scoots off in, and I'm sitting there going, "That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen."
That's so cool, man.
When I was 22 years old, I saw a hawk kill a squirrel. And it was one of them things where I was standing there with exactly 12 other people. I know exactly how many people were there. And it was one of them deals where we were all just looking at the same thing. We're all standing there quiet, and we're all watching this squirrel play. We didn't realize everybody was watching this squirrel play until it happened. And we all saw it. And then out of nowhere comes a red-tailed hawk and wears this squirrel out. And everybody goes, "Holy crap." Like everybody saw it. That was the coolest bird of prey thing ever until this happened. So I got to see the osprey go fishing and take off with it. Was wild. It was awesome.
Do you ever wonder when I see birds do that in the ocean and they come out with fish? I always wonder, like, oh my God, that fish was in where I'm swimming. And obviously, duh, it's the ocean. There's a ton of fish in there. Like that's a stupid thought. But every time a bird goes into the ocean and comes out with a fish, I'm like, oh my, I wonder if I ran into that fish, or like, I wonder if that fish was close to me at some point when I was swimming around here. Like that's.
But if butterfly effect, because I'm standing here, he avoided me, and that's why he got ate by a pelican.
And now that fish is dead because of me, because I was standing there. Yeah.
So I also found, for the first time in my life, I found them in, and it was on, we had one day that was really rough surf. Probably should have been double red flag, that I would not let the girls in the water at all without me there. Like I was, knee deep, but you cannot be in the water without me. It was harsh waves that were nonstop. But it was hot. So we were all out there together. And I'm out there my rule was, as you coach, you're in youth football right now, as you coach your safeties oftentimes with the saying, deeper than the deepest, wider than the widest. That was my rule. Dad is deeper than the deepest and wider than the widest. And by wider than the widest, it was a left to right current every day. So you were to the left of Dad and you were in front of me. If you were to the right of me or behind me, you were wrong, and you were getting out of the water. Deeper than deeper, wider than the right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get exactly what you're saying.
So we're just getting wiped out left and right, like big waves that just come out of nowhere, and you turn around and you get hit, and it was brutal. It was so bad. The next day, we had a lazy day. We got me and the two girls. Debbie was smart enough to stay her butt on the beach.
Enjoyed the sun.
We got our butt kicked for 3 hours by the Atlantic Ocean. But in the process of that, something large hit my feet. And I went, that feels big. It's not alive. And so my curiosity, I got to know what it is. So I'm about, when the wave comes in, I'm about chest high.
Right.
And I get this thing between my feet. Well, the waves are just wearing me out. So I'm yelling at Liz. I'm like, "Come here, Liz, come here." And so I picked my feet up. I was like, "Grab this from between my feet." And I have no idea what it is. I pick my feet up. She grabs it. We get crushed by a wave. She comes up and she still got it. And it's a full-on, not broken conch.
Oh, cool.
The real deal from the ocean. Like I found them on the beach before.
Yeah.
But I found that dude the hard way, the old-fashioned way, underwater with my feet. And I paid the price and I ate it. So that's probably the thing I'm most proud of on vacation.
Those things are beautiful, man. When they're intact and you find them, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous.
So I know you've been on a vacation. I've been on vacation. I wanted to ask you a question. And I have a couple of I have one or two photos to know that this has taken place, but I
Okay.
want to know how much this has taken place.
Okay.
How are you enjoying college football 25?
I love it. But I love it for reasons that I didn't think I would love it. It's nostalgic.
It
It's
is.
nostalgic for me. They did such a good job with it. There's bugs. They're gonna fix it. It'll be fine.
For
That's
sure.
the great thing about today's games is they can just fix. They can just download an update.
Bingo. That's
back
what
in
people
the
don't
day,
understand
you
is
couldn't
back
fix it.
back when video games were first invented, like back in the early 90s, mid 90s, if there was a bug,
It was there.
it
Part of the
stayed.
game.
Stayed the entire time. Yeah.
So I love the representation. My favorite part of the game for me, for you, this is not an issue. You're an Ohio State fan, right? You're gonna have Bucky. You're gonna dot the I. They're gonna have all of the things like always. Whatever the maximum representation is, Ohio State's gonna be top of the list of getting the representations. But for me, back in the day, I was D1 2A Southeast. That's who I was, and we're Georgia Southern. We wear blue and white. The stadium is the stadium. Like they play Mo Bamba. When we kick off the football, they say one more time on the game. They say one more time on the game. It's hard to express what that means to me because that's not something that's ever been a thing I could play. But they put my team since I was 6 years old, and they've missed some stuff. Sure. Is there a 7-story building in the corner of the end zone that you can see on campus that does not exist? Sure. Who cares? I don't care. The field house is there. The stands are there. They're appropriately filled for the right games, and they're half empty for the right games. And they play our music, our actual music. They play Mo Bamba when we play Mo Bamba. And when we kick the football off, go one more time. Like it's a big deal. I say all that to say this. I'm really bad at it. I walked to a national championship. Tracy Ham was the runner-up. Tracy Ham was the first player I made because he's my favorite football player of all time. Made Tracy Ham. Did not win the Heisman with Tracy Ham. Was the runner-up to my tailback who won the Heisman in my first year. But I was playing on freshman. Not gonna lie to you, I hadn't played a video game in 15 years. I wanted to win, so we won.
It doesn't matter what you play.
Then I moved up to varsity.
That's all that matters, man. That's
then I moved up to varsity, and things have gone differently. And once I moved up to varsity, I realized I got some more to do before I can step to my friends. Like I gotta figure some stuff out, and I don't have time.
Oh,
yeah. And I also realized this: I'm from a different generation. I am perfectly happy. In fact, all I really want to do is play the computer. Like I just want to sit there and play the season and get mad in the fourth quarter and turn it off before we can start the game over. Like I lost to Jacksonville State. I was pissed off that I didn't turn it off in time because they tackled me on the 1-inch line on the last play of the game. I thought I won. So I didn't get to turn it off in time. So I actually have a loss to Jacksonville State.
Yeah, to live
video
it.
Game.
Yeah, to live it.
I've learned a lot, right? And I've learned that, it's awesome for me to sit down for 30 minutes. That's one of the things I like about the career mode is I just play offense. I don't play defense. It makes it harder because if I'm playing both sides, the computer's never going to beat me. If I'm playing the whole game and I get to call plays on offense, the computer's not going to beat me. When I can't play defense and when somebody else is calling plays for me, it makes it tough.
Yeah.
And then when you get the coach trust and you get to pick your own play, well, you get to pick from 3 plays, and half the time they're all the same.
And they're terrible. They're usually terrible situational plays.
Terrible. They're idiots. Like you're just like, what are you doing, coach? Which makes it more fun. That's what I do at home. What are you doing, Clay Helton? You freaking idiot! What are you doing?
Like, terrible play call, Ryan Day. What the hell?
Yeah. So I love it. I'm so happy with it. Like I really am. I'm so happy with it. But I'm very happy to say, and I played most nights at when we were at the beach. Like I'd play for an hour or two most nights. I think one night I took off because it was just so nice on the back porch. But what I am happy to say is that I've played once since I've been home. I'm not addicted to it. Like I don't. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get away from it. Like I really was worried I wouldn't be able to get away from it. And I think the loss to Jacksonville State helped me with that. You've got that I'm addicted to it face going on, which nobody will be surprised about. Anybody who sat through 2 weeks ago's podcast. But yes, I have enjoyed it immensely, and I suck at it.
So I might be a little addicted to it.
I told Debbie, I can't play Bryce because I know Bryce has figured out every part of this game. He's got his offense set. He's got his audible set. He's got his defenses stacked. He knows every single. I can't beat him. Like I'm not going to get run ruled by Bryce. Not yet. Give me a couple months.
So we had, I think this was 2 weeks ago. It was the weekend we came home from the beach. The kids went to the grandparents' house. So I just hopped on college football all weekend and
As you should have.
played for roughly around 20 hours. I have a couple dynasties going right now.
A couple.
One or two.
That's the online deal where you're the coach.
So I have one online dynasty going where I'm the coach. And I actually have it with Georgia Southern. So
but explain that to me. Do you not play at all? You just call plays and call timeouts?
No, you play. It's the same as a normal game. You do offense.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well, see, I stopped that. I thought that I didn't go down that road. I went the other way but you have to recruit in that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hearing that takes a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, that doesn't appeal to me.
See, yeah, that's the part that I love the most. So
yeah,
we're in an online dynasty with me and a couple other guys, and we did custom schedules, so we all played each other before the region began, and we all played each other undefeated right here. Yep. So we all recruit, and our rule was no Power 5 guys. We got App State, Jacksonville State, Toledo. I'm Georgia Southern. And
who picked the Mud Hens or whatever Toledo is?
What are the Toledo
Rockets?
The Rockets, I think. Yeah. I don't know.
Toledo Mud Hens is a minor league baseball team.
Yeah. They're the Toledo. Yeah, I think Rockets. Well, one of my cousin's friends. But our only rule was you can't pick a Power 5 team. You have to pick a group of 5 team. So we're all trying to go after these same recruits, these 1-star recruits. We played each other. We'll get on calls at night and talk about recruits and like, oh, you can't recruit this guy. We're going to it. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm driving down there tomorrow to go to church with him and his mom and his whole family. Sorry about it. We're gonna get this recruit and we'll get on and give each other a hard time about it. And it is the most fun I have had on a video game in forever. I have not played a single game with Ohio State in the video game. I've played with Army, I've played with Navy, I've played with Georgia Southern. I think I played one game with Texas. I did Arkansas, Iowa, Notre Dame. I have not played a single game with Ohio State because, in my opinion, that's not what brings me the most joy in college football. It's taking a smaller program, and trying to build them up and win the national championship. And that's why I like my Navy season is the thing that I enjoy the most because they run such a different offense from the rest of college football and just running the triple option and having the time of possession. And there's only 3 total touchdowns.
Do you have a hard time with your controls on pulling it and not pulling it?
Big time.
Yeah. Like it's not consistent, right?
It's not consistent, and
it makes me want to throw up because I know the read
from 14. It's completely different from NCAA 14, and I had the controls on NCAA 14 memorized. I could do it in my sleep.
Me too.
And 25 is the complete opposite of 14, and it's different, and the way they scheme the plays for the triple option is different.
Yeah.
And it literally took me hours. I went into practice mode. So on this, you can go into practice mode and practice different sets, and it took me hours in practice mode to get down how to run the triple option, when to pull it, when not to pull it, what your keys are, what your reads are, what the blocking scheme is going to be, how you set your Mike linebackers, how you see what safety you want to key on. It was a massive pain in the ass. But now that I got it down, I'm a little bit better at it. I made it to college football playoffs last year, got beat by Georgia in the first round. I got 3-star athletes. They got 5-star athletes. I was undefeated this year until this morning, and I found my first major game breaking, pissed me off glitch that I found in the game.
Yeah.
So in college football this year, when you get into the third overtime, you got one play. It's essentially a 2-point conversion, and it's only worth 2 points. It's not a touchdown.
Shootout.
Yeah, it's like a shootout. So
Stupid.
something in the game is broken because when you're in your second overtime, so first overtime in Temple, I was playing Temple 24-24 going into the first overtime. We both scored a touchdown going into the second overtime. Second overtime, they possessed the ball first. The third play from scrimmage, they threw an interception to me. Got it, caught it. I'm like, ball game, let's go. I got it. I run a couple plays, I get a first down, and then I run a couple more plays, just getting to the middle of the field, and I'm like, kicking a field goal, winning this bad boy, and walking it off. Well, I went into the playbook. There are no special teams in the playbook. I can't kick a field goal. Something in the game is glitched as to where they think the second overtime is you can't kick a field goal.
Oh,
In actuality, it's the third overtime that you can't kick a field goal. So I am freaking irate. I am just so pissed off. I score a touchdown. Or no, I didn't score a touchdown. I got stopped on fourth down because I couldn't, like, I wasn't necessarily going for a first down. I was just trying to position myself in the middle of the field to kick a field goal. And it was like 4th and 13 with Navy, and I'm like, I don't have any plays to pick up this first down. And they beat me in like the third overtime because I couldn't kick a field goal in overtime to win the game. And then the next week I just got destroyed by Notre Dame. I lost 28-3. They threw it all over the park on me. I mean, all over the park. I got a young team though, good recruiting class. They're gonna be good. Starting a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. I think I only got three seniors that are starting right now for Navy in year 3 of this playthrough. So I'm loving it, dude. I am 1,000,000% addicted. I stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every single night and play this game because
my problem is I won the national championship in my first season.
Yeah.
On freshman, but I won the national because of that, and because I won the Heisman with my junior tailback. He went to draft early. My head coach left, and what I wasn't paying attention to was my offensive coordinator left. So when I start season 2 of my career mode with Tracy Ham, I don't pay attention to. I don't realize that my new offensive coordinator runs Clemson's offense. I've spent a whole year learning Georgia Southern's offense.
Oh, man.
And I wasn't running the trip. I was running Georgia Southern's offense.
Right.
And I would play separate games and run the trip. And I'm going to tell you an embarrassing reason why in a minute. Now I am running the triple option, but I'm going to make you laugh. But it took me 2 games to figure out what is going on. What are these plays? Like, I don't understand. Like, they only run 4 plays all year because the coach is an idiot. How did anybody take this offensive coordinator? But so I got to go in every game and manually change my playbook because this guy keep forgetting that this guy's at Clemson. Anyway, it took me a week of playing this game for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day to figure out, because I was so angry. I was like, this game's stupid because I can't see my running backs and I'm trying to run the option and I cannot see my running backs. To figure out that if I just push the up button on the freaking keypad, then it would give me a different view so I could see my stinking offense. Like, you know how hard it is to run a triple option on that tight view?
Oh, hit back button on the D-pad twice and the view zooms out.
Oh, I know. Took me a week. Figured it out. But I didn't know. So I was trying to run a triple option.
That is a pain in the ass, dude. That is a massive pain in the ass. Yeah.
And I was like, this is impossible. I'm great at running. I can't do this. And the thing that throws me off is on 14, if you pitch to the right, it was R1. If you pitch to the left, it was L1.
It's different. It's different now.
It's all L1 now.
Yeah, unless you have an inside pitch. If you have an inside pitch, you can do R1.
And I haven't done inside pitch yet.
And then L1 also has a sensitivity to it.
Yes.
If you tap L1, it's just a sort of soft flip out there. And if you hold L1, it's a hard pitch out there.
But you make your money. You make your money running trip. And what's great is, and here's what I use when I'm playing on when I just play just a game, like when I just pick I'm going to play. I play with Air Force's offense. Air Force's playbook is freaking amazing. the standard is flex bone, right? That's your base.
Right.
Number 2 is Maryland eye. Number 3 is power eye.
Yep.
Number 4 is pistol. And then number 5 is a legit shotgun.
Yep.
That's the greatest playbook in the history of football. Like, that's amazing. And now that I know how to zoom the camera out, I can play with that playbook with Georgia Southern when I'm calling the plays. But I can't play with that playbook when I'm not calling the plays in career mode because my coach is an absolute fool. And because I cannot consistently control the B-back, whether I give it to him or pull it.
Right.
Sometimes if you hold the X down, then you keep it. Sometimes you hold the X down, it hands it to that son of a gun.
Yeah.
And the B-back is the key to the triple option. That's your leading rusher. Is your B-back. It's your fullback. It's the dive guy. That's the guy that's gonna get you all your yards.
The hardest play I've tried to figure out to get the timing right on this play has been so frustrating is the inside veer triple option. It has been horribly hard to try to figure out the timing and the keys and the reads and everything. I still don't have it down pat. Like the inside veer or the
midline, and it's a good midline.
It is. Yeah.
Like, it's correct midline, but it's so fast and I can't figure out how to pull it every time, like consistently. Like I do the same thing twice and it does something different.
Yep.
And I just can't figure that part out. But anyway, enough of that. It was awesome. It was fun. It was, I love it. I love it for the nostalgia. I love it for the old man portion of it. I love it for the representation. And I just don't really have any desire to play another human being. Like I just don't. Like I'm having too much fun with it. I don't want to get frustrated and mad. Like
I have played, maybe it's because I haven't lost yet to another person, but like even like when I make a mistake and when I throw an interception, but I've only played with friends. I haven't played with randos online. Right. I just play with my buddies. And like we don't really care who wins. Like we're just so damn happy that there's a college football game that we all get to enjoy and we all get to play. The first game I played, it was Georgia Southern versus Jacksonville State. I think it was me and my cousin playing. I think the final score was like 72-68. And it was the most damn fun I have ever had playing a football game, period. Not even a college football game, just a football game. Because, dude, he found a glitch early on, like a day one glitch, that where if you put like a 99 speed wide receiver as your X and you just ran a streak with him, he was wide open like every single time. So just like every single snap, I had my safety just jogging back there, and he's just throwing 80-yard dimes to this.
Tecmo Bowl, Jerry Rice.
Great, dude. It was hilarious. He had like 400 yards receiving. It was just fun, dude. It was so much fun playing it.
I've got to get it set up where I can play online. Like I don't even have an EA Sports online account. Like I don't even
get anything set up. We gotta get.
But I gotta do it because Barlow bought a PlayStation for Jacob for his birthday. And I have a lot of desire to play with Jacob Barlow, with my buddy. Like I would like to get online and play with Jacob and talk trash and do all that stuff. So I've got to get it done. I got to figure it out, but it's just not been a priority for me. I got the game.
You ought to get the dynasty thing going, dude. If you get the dynasty thing going, we can do an online dynasty, and like me, you, Clay, Billy, Barlow's son, like we can all have an online dynasty where we play against each other. We can be in the same conference. We can try
when I started the first one,
each other. It's awesome.
When I started the first one and you were setting up as a coach,
I
thought, I'm not even gonna get to play. Like I didn't even, I was like, no, this is not what I want to do. And I backed out and I went to career mode. So then I'd spend all this time making Tracy Ham, and I get in there and realize I can't call plays. I can call timeout, but I can't manage the clock on defense. I can't play defense. And then I was angry about that for about a game and a half. And then I realized, it makes it a little bit more fun. It's different. Like this is like, it's a challenge. It gives me a little bit more of a challenge because the computer kind of kept it close a little bit. They'd let them score and so now I'm on the sideline pulling from a defense, and you don't have to watch them play. And that makes it quicker, makes the game faster. So I can play more. I can play a dynasty in 3 hours or a season in 3 hours. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
You know what I made tonight? I'm gonna give you a hack because you have 47 different kids. I'm gonna change the subject.
Okay.
When you make spaghetti, which I know you do because you have 150 kids.
We do a ton of spaghetti.
I do too. I've learned 2 spaghettis ago. We had spaghetti tonight. 2 spaghettis ago, out of necessity, because I didn't want to wash dishes. So I got a big pot with my noodles in it, right? And then I cooked my meat sauce over in another situation, and then I combined it. I used my wok to cook my sauce, my Chinese wok.
Really?
It's not a real wok. It's like a Teflon wok, but it's a big wok. Well, dude, it's life changing. I'll never make spaghetti not in my wok again because I made it on vacation with no wok and I wanted to shoot myself. You get your sauce in there and then you go in with your noodles and you got all that room, man, all that room to stir it up, get everything. You don't have to worry about nothing sloshing out. You don't have to worry because you're making a big amount because spaghetti's like the greatest leftover. So you got to feed everybody. Plus you want some leftovers. The wok, I'm just telling you, man, if you have a wok, use it to make your spaghetti.
I don't think we have a wok.
A lot of people don't, but I do.
I think we do
because I'm pretty awesome.
You are, dude. The cooking advice that you've given me is pretty amazing on Bro Therapy. Like that's pretty cool. I'll have to remember that. I might get a wok.
I have a rant.
Oh,
very short and very niche.
All right,
very short and very niche.
Okay.
I am no longer a competitive athlete. However, there is a sport on ESPN that I still compete in, and if I wanted to, could compete at the highest level and find out exactly how good I am. And my goal in life is one day to do that, and that is poker.
Oh,
I love playing tournament poker.
Oh, you're going to say Nathan.
Since we've been gone, do what?
Oh, you're going to say Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
No, never. Since we've been gone, the World Series of Poker has happened. It was happening while we were doing whatever, but the main event happened. And this year in the main event, and you know the main event because you saw it on ESPN growing up, right? And you saw Chris Moneymaker, Doyle Brunson, and did the whole thing. Now there is a company called Poker Go, and Poker Go is an awesome company. And Poker Go's headquarters is right next to the Aria. You can walk right by there. They have tournaments in there. But Poker Go is a paid subscription app. And that is where the World Series was this year, including the main event.
It was on an app?
You had to have the Poker Go app, which I have, and you had to pay the Poker Go subscription in order to watch the World Series, which means it wasn't on ESPN. Now, the world has changed. And a lot of people aren't sitting around watching ESPN all the time, but still, it wasn't. I watched on vacation. We were in the beachside bar restaurant having dinner. I looked up on TV, and the women's national championship for bowling was taking place.
Oh, buddy!
It was the national championship game was Jacksonville State versus some other small school in the national championship. And the main event was taking place. They could have had the main event on. Kristen Foxen is maybe the greatest female player in the world right now. She's got 3 or 4 bracelets. Kristen Foxen made a super deep run. Not only did Kristen Foxen make a super deep run in the main event, she was crushing souls. She was running big bluffs. She was outplaying everybody in the tournament. And even the hand that knocked her out, the cojones it took to play that hand the way she played that hand with 13 people left in the main event of the World Series of Poker. Unbelievable. The world missed it. The poker boom happened because Chris Moneymaker, an accountant from Kentucky or wherever Chris was from, beat Sammy Farha heads up. He beat a professional poker player with an unlit cigarette hanging out of his mouth who looks like every single professional poker player in your brain.
Bill Hellmuth? Is that his last name?
No. Sammy Farha. Oh. Sammy Farha is the best. Sammy Farha is awesome. He's Lebanese. He's always wearing a suit with his shirt.
I sort of remember him. Yeah.
Sammy's one of the fellas. Sammy's awesome. And he's got the rings. He's everything you imagine when you think old school professional poker player. Well, Chris Moneymaker beat him and became a millionaire, and we all watched it happen. So everybody realized, oh crap, I can go do this. Right? This year you had Kristen Foxen, a woman, making and a beautiful mom. Like she's if you saw her walking down the street, you would never think that's one of the best poker players in the world. You would think she's going to soccer practice. She's in charge of orange slices. Foxen's in there just bowing people up, just wrecking souls, playing amazing, and nobody saw it. No women saw it. It would have been absolutely inspiring to women everywhere. It would have put more women in poker, which I think there needs to be because women are great and men never give them credit for bluffing. And she knows that. And she was just crushing souls and nobody saw it. So my rant is I get it, Poker Go. I love it. I love that you're here, whatever. But the main event of the World Series of Poker needs to be on ESPN. As much as I hate ESPN, for the good of the game, it needs to be on ESPN because yes, everybody loves Poker Go. But guess what? The only reason you have Poker Go is because you already play cards. So you're never going to grow the game that way. The only people seeing it are already
people that are already invested in it.
Right. So anyway, that's my incredibly niche rant that I've been mad about for 2.5 weeks, and I typed right here into this deal.
My dude, when I used to watch poker a lot, like we used to be super heavy into poker. I liked Phil Hellmuth. That was the dude that I always pulled.
He has 19 bracelets now.
Holy 19?
I think 19's the number for him.
Holy smokes, that's nuts.
Daniel Negreanu is my favorite player ever, and Daniel won. He has not won a bracelet in 7 years. It's been a long drought, and Daniel, he's maybe the richest player in the world. He was on top of the poker lifetime earnings list forever until like 4 years ago. They started this thing out in the Orient called the Triton Poker, where these $100,000 buy-in tournaments with like 15 people in it. But if you win it, every tournament you win's $2 million. That blew out. It blew the poker earnings list completely out. They started doing these high rollers, and it's whatever. I still consider Daniel the highest grossing player ever because he did it just regular tournaments. Daniel won the $50,000 poker players the $50,000 poker players championship, which is the main event is the most famous tournament in the world.
Right. The
PPC, which is a bracelet event, is the most important tournament to actual poker players. It's a mixed game. They play 8 games. They play the main 8 games. It's $50,000 buy-in. It's the best players in the world, and you find out who. And it's deep structure. It's a long tournament, and you find out who the best player is. And Daniel won the PPC, so that was the highlight of the World Series for me this year. Super happy for Daniel.
Looking through all these poker players that were in the World Series of Poker this year, man, I don't recognize hardly any of these guys.
And you never will. You didn't see them play.
No, I remember watching Doyle Brunson, Chris Ferguson.
Everybody hates now.
Phil Wynn. Why does everybody hate Ferguson? What did he do?
Chris Ferguson was involved in the Full Tilt scandal.
Oh, really?
That ripped off tons and tons and tons of poker players, including yours truly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Chris got rich off that. There was several. Chris and the professor.
Andy
Duke, they were all involved in that.
I didn't know that.
Our audio is starting to go. We need to wrap it up.
All right. Do you you got any show and tell or happy things?
Yes.
Hit me.
We talked about this on the phone. You and I were talking about this on the phone earlier, so I wanted to show you. This is my high school football.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
There's the little bit of the rock and R from our logo, and you can see about the same piece this way, but you could tell what I used my head for. But this helmet contains, and this is it. This is the real deal with the chin strap and everything. This is what I wore, and this is how I wore it. This contains my most prized possession. And if you look real closely right there, you can see maybe a half of an eagle. That is a helmet sticker off of a Northside Eagles helmet that was stuck to my helmet after the last game I played against Northside. And I didn't know it until I took my helmet off. I was like, oh, look at that. And it stayed there. It was over here. I moved it down so that I wouldn't lose it. But yeah, and you can see that color.
Yeah.
That's Northside blue.
Huh.
That paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. That anybody who knows me knows of my deep, 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 forever, ever hatred of the Northside Eagles. It's deeper than Appalachian State. And this helmet contains Northside blue and one of their helmet stickers from when I whooped that ass. That's my favorite. We were talking about it on the phone. I was like, I'll show you what tonight.
We were talking about that because we got I won't spoil it, but we got something special setting up for pregame, hopefully this year for high school football.
And you told me you wore a 2-bar face mask, looked like Andy Reid off of the punt pass and kick when he was 11.
Dang right, baby. Yeah. I wore a full cage my freshman year. And I was like, I hate this. I can't see anything. So the next year, sophomores get a little bit more preference when they get a helmet. And I got a 2-bar. I got a quarterback face mask, and I wore that face mask.
Was it a bird cage?
Yeah.
It was a bird cage with the 2 here and the.
Yep.
It's a running back's face mask.
Ain't right,
Playing
baby.
tackle.
Hey, left tackle. I had the best view. I'll have to find a picture of it. I don't have my helmet. My mom has it, I think.
Oh,
I got a
they
picture
came
of
out
it.
with that bull loop
Yeah, the
my
little
sophomore year.
yeah.
And it was the coolest thing on earth. There was nothing cooler than that when that bull loop popped my sophomore year. Had to have it.
You know,
Had to have it.
I always painted my face. So my thinking sophomore year
I'm
as
not
well
surprised.
was the more face mask I have, the less people can see my face paint. So I was like, I'm going with the quarterback 2 bar so people can see my face paint because it looks pretty cool and I spent a lot of time on it. And you know, I spent time on my wrist tape and my ankle tape and all that stuff.
I'm not going to give you a too hard a time because I also bought a case of tape a year and I was beautifully taped and spatted up and taped my fingers. I did the
the double, Did you do the double tape?
No. Yeah, one here, one on each knuckle.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
Just awful, just stupid for no purpose. But I did that because Jack Lambert, right?
Yep.
Tape my wrist, but I have to tape my wrist. My wrist is the only thing on my body I actually needed to tape because I don't have any cartilage in my wrist. But I taped my fingers and did whatever. I was pretty. Like I looked good for an offensive line
everything
out there. But I got the bright idea at some point that I wanted a shield on my face mask. So I went and got one. Didn't have a lot of money. So I spent like all my money to get this shield, put it on. I don't know if you know me or not. I sweat worse than any human being.
Guy.
They don't come with windshield wipers.
And they fog up horribly.
I was 6 minutes into my first practice with that thing, and I had it off like waving for somebody with a screwdriver to come get that thing off my face mask. Yep, I made it like 6 minutes with a shield on. Which, by the way, shields are stupid.
I hate them. They're awful. I hated them. I used to tape up my knuckles on my right hand because I used to use it to punch people.
Wish I'd have done that because I don't have any knuckles anymore because I did punch people. We'd
get into blocking people, and you'd throw a hammer in there.
You know what's dumber than punching somebody with a face mask?
4K.
Nothing. There's nothing stupider than getting into a fist fight with someone with a football helmet on. And guess what? I like you lose that every time.
You lose that every time.
They don't even know you hit them. like I'm bleeding. My knuckles are all busted and broken, and I'd get myself so worked up, which was as an undersized lineman, you kind of have to do. You gotta have to make yourself feel like it. And so I would punch him in the face, I think, to tell myself.
I wasn't aiming for the face.
But it's dumb. No. Well, would you like a story real quick on the way out?
I would. Yeah. Hit me with it. I'm always down for a football story, man.
My junior year, when we were so good, Corky Kell, we were in the dome and we ran the wing tee. And when we ran bootleg, we pulled both guards. And the play side guard, his job was to hook the end. The backside guard was to help him clean up, and if not there, to seal the edge. And then if the quarterback ran, to go with it. Right. So I was a strong guard. We always ran bootleg away from the strong side. So I was generally on bootleg, the cleanup guy. So I get around there. My boy Jimmy McKinnis, who was a senior, I was a junior. Jimmy's getting his butt whooped by this defensive end for McEachern or Pope. We were playing McEachern or Pope. I don't remember which one. And Jimmy's just getting his butt whooped by this guy. And it's the cleanup guy's tough on the, you got to know pretty quick your angle so that you can get there and help. And I've never had to help Jimmy before. So the guy got between us. He didn't make the play, but he was way more in the backfield than I wanted him to be. So we get back in the huddle. I'm like, Jimmy, what's up? He's like, dude, I can't get him hooked. I can't get him hooked. I was like, all right, we run it again. You just get there and you post him and I'll take care of it. He's like, all right. So Jimmy gets there and he gets his hands on him. Yeah. And I came from left field. I'm coming full speed. I had a great angle. I had a good foot. I was so undersized. I had to have perfect technique. I had to, or I was going to die. I'm playing the highest classification of football at 230 pounds as an offensive guard. I had to bring it. I was a fullback playing offensive line. So I came from, but I was mean. Dude, I cheated. I was mean. I did everything. And I'm sure if you talk to Rooster Russell, you'd probably get some of these stories too, probably much better because he was even smaller than me and played national champion college level. So I come from back here. I come from way back with a right hook with an open hand straight up between this dude's legs. And I grabbed and I squeezed and I twisted. And there was a noise that came out of this dude's face hole that to this day, 27 years later, I've never heard again. It was a one of one sound. And guess what? We hooked him.
We hooked him.
And as we're turning, and we threw it in the flat and got like 7, right?
Yeah.
So as we're going back to the huddle, he's yelling at the white hat. He grabbed me by the dick. He grabbed me by the dick. And I was even with the white hat, and I looked at him. Hand to God, Bryce. Hand to God. I looked at the white hat, and the white hat looked at him and goes, "Son, I don't believe I told that."
I might have kept that one in my back pocket. I don't know if I told anybody about it.
I didn't have to help Jimmy the rest of the night. He hooked that son of a gun pretty easy. That dude was done. He's like, 66 is I don't want no more of that crazy joker. And the white hat ain't gonna do nothing about it. Because now I know I'm coming with the club next time. If this white hat's gonna let that go
for you.
Because there was no secret. Dude, I came from back here. Like I winded up like Dusty Rhodes with the bionic elbow. I brought it from way up here. And I was willing to get the penalty. It was the first quarter. I was like, I'll get the penalty here. I just got to shut this guy. I can't be helping Jimmy all night with this guy. We can't be double
tone early
begins on bootleg. That kills our numbers. We got to shut this down now. But Jimmy also in my first game, Jimmy was in that one. We ran bootleg, but because we always ran back, and that was also in the dome. My first game starting as varsity, and the tackle next to me was Matt Finley. Was Rich Finley's big brother. He was his little brother, but he's the biggest human being ever.
Bigger one.
And meaner than a snake. And he was right next to me. He went up going.
I've heard stories about them Finley boys.
Yeah, and then he was the baddest of the bad. Ooh. Matt was the baddest. Matt was ended up being a heavyweight boxer. He went to Hines Junior College and started. And if you know anything about Hines Junior College in Mississippi, it might as well be the what was the team in the prison movie, Longest Yard. Might as well be Longest Yard.
Oh, like, the Mean Machine.
Yeah, it might as well have been the Mean Machine. And he's a bad dude. So he's to my right. I'm a sophomore. First game I ever started. Matt's all state. In the dome, you can't really hear because there's like 17 people in this big building, and there's bands put on each side, and it sounds like a fish bar. So I hear bootleg. I just told you, we always run bootleg backside. For whatever reason, they ran strong side bootleg. First series. I just heard bootleg. I pull, and boy, did I hook that in. Ooh, best hook of all time. Best hook ever. Because the play was going the other way.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. So we faked belly, reversed out, faked buck, pulled 2 guards in opposite directions, and booted a quarterback out, and nobody ran into each other. And to the point that I didn't know what had happened. It was 3rd down. We had to punt. Get to the sideline. Coach Wade comes over, puts his arm around me. Said, "Hey, what happened?" I said, "Woo, I hooked him, Coach. I don't know what happened." We're in the Georgia Dome now.
Yeah.
He grabs me in a headlock and points at the screen where they are replaying the 3rd down. Me and Jimmy cross each other. Jimmy stopped in the backfield and turned and looked at me and shook his head like stupid sophomore and kept going the other way. So then now I'm the sophomore. At Warner Robins, you did not start as a sophomore. Like you didn't. Nobody ever started as a freshman. Willie Reed was on my senior year. Willie Reed was a freshman on our team. Willie Reed, who started for 4 years at Florida State. They wouldn't put Willie in. Willie didn't let her as a freshman. You did not play. So to be playing as a sophomore was a big deal.
Yeah.
My name was sophomore. Robert Davis called me sophomore until my senior year when I said, "Coach, I'm the captain. Can you call me by my name?" He's like, "My bad, dog." Like that happened. So we're grading the film. We're grading the film. And the way Coach Wade graded film was we would watch the play all the way through. They would rewind it. He started the left side of the line. We'd watch the play for every guy down the line, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, so we go left tackle, right tackle, or left tackle, left guard, center, and then me. And then tackle, tight end. Gets all the way down the line, gets to me, skips me, goes to Matt, gives Matt, then goes to the tight end, Mike Boyum, who's still to this day one of my best friends. Then he goes back to me, rewinds it, plays it, rewinds it, plays it, rewinds it like 6 times. He hadn't said a word. Keeps playing it, keeps playing it, keeps playing it. And finally he goes, Bass, that's the best hook block I've ever seen in my life. Unfortunately, you went the wrong damn way. I'm going to give you a 0. And the whole room came undone. Like I thought we were going to be done grading the film on the first. It took them 10 minutes to get them put back together so we could keep grading the film. Yep, that was. But I'll say this: Matt Finley, who was a defensive, he was our nose tackle. Matt played like I don't know 30 snaps all year on offense for us. Yeah. He was all-state nose. He graded out. He was our number 1 graded out lineman for the year. We graded. We didn't grade on percentage. We graded on a scale of 0 to 3. He graded out 2.2 for the year, but he only ran like 30 plays. But the sophomore was a 1.9 guy. I was number 2 on the list as a sophomore. Good. So even with that 0 starting things off, I was able to. But again, I was pulling. Like it's easier. Yeah. I was just kicking out linebackers all day long. It's no big deal. So it's easy to grade high. But yeah, that was my proudest and worst moment. Back-to-back years opening up in the Georgia Dome.
My show and tell, my happy thing for today's episode is a card that we received a while ago, but I'm just now getting able to debut it on Bro Therapy.
Oh, nice.
It's a card that the Villa Rica High School baseball team sent me, and I got most of the seniors' signature on it. It's just an appreciation card. It said, Hometown Sports Media, thank you for all you did to support VRHS baseball this season. We appreciate you. A lot of the kids signed it. This is cool, man. I'm gonna frame this and probably hang it up somewhere here in my office. It was a lot of fun covering this baseball season and being able to be at so many games and I don't know, form a relationship with the coaches and the parents and the kids and like see the kids progress in their senior year and everything. It was it's a group of boys that I won't forget for a very long time. It was a fun season, and I thought this was really cool of them to send me a thank you card for. I don't know. I just showed up and watched baseball.
No, that's nonsense. You were as much a part of that baseball team as anybody else was, and that proves it. Like you legitimately were part of that team. Like it's what made that team magical. I still can't believe they didn't win it all. That team had the juju around it. Yeah. Like you guys were supposed to make the run. You made the run, but you were supposed to win it all. And you were as much part of that team as I was a part of, that team on the wall up there, the Hurd County Braves, who I got this, of them all signed that picture up there. And that's one of the things that we love about Hometown Sports Media is we want to be part of the team. Yep. My battery is dying on my computer, and I only have one UBC, whatever you call it, plug. So USB-C? I can do this show and plug the laptop in at the same time. So we got to go.
I think that's a good place to wrap it up. For Casey Bass, I am Bryce Sparling. We will see you all next week here on TM5's Bro Therapy, sponsored by Marine South. And as always, fins up.
Love you, mean it, especially you, Uncle Don.